everybody, and welcome to the Blizzard Watch podcast. I'm Matt. I'm hosting, and with me this week are my two fantastic co-hosts and the special guest star that we've tricked into our web with, some cake and some milk, and now we've got him trapped under the big web. And if he tries to escape, we'll just drop it on him. Anyway, hi. With us are Liz Harper and Joe Perez. Say hi, guys.
Hello.
Ooh.
And also with us, hopefully enjoying that cake, is Christian Thomas or Caltheus. I keep calling you Krith is my problem. I keep going back 10 years now?
Oh, God.
The old Perth name?
Yeah, Kurth.
Yeah.
I keep calling you that.
Perth or Krith, or however you wanted to pronounce that. Hello, everybody. I'm joining tonight. Yes,
he is joining tonight. We've got a lot to talk about, so we'll try to just jump into some of it. Gamescom still Gamescom was last month, and we still have stuff happening. Last week, as we were finishing this podcast, they dropped a whole bunch of blog posts on the official site, the World of Warcraft official site, with more information about the upcoming Twilight expansion that was, and stuff that's just coming in the future. I'm not really sure how much of this...
Twilight sounds like a really interesting expansion.
Yeah, but it's midnight.
Alternate universe.
Yes.
Now I'm wondering about the alternate universe in which the expansion is actually Twilight and what that expansion would be.
Didn't we already do that? Didn't we already cover that one year on April 1st, where we decided to do an entire site dedicated to Twilight for an hour?
Oh yeah,
we may have
different Twilight. That was,
or is it
a couple of years? Or you may be right in that alternate universe. I don't know.
Anyway,
Jacob.
So
in the I was going to say, in the alternate universe, you have Edward Cullen. You are not prepared for my sparkle.
I just want to drink you. Anyway, yikes! Someone wrote a fanfic for that, and it ended up being, the Warcraft movie. I don't make the rules. Let's talk about things we might not have known, but some things we did know, and some things were just, so forth. Go ahead.
I will say that all of this information is good in that it gives us a single source of Blizzard confirmed information, because one of the problems with Gamescom is you've been getting information from dozens of content creators making videos, from third-party sources, second-party sources. You've gotten a lot of information from interviews that are in videos, and there's a lot of miscommunications, and there's
a lot of left hand. There's a lot of left hand, right hand going on right now.
Yeah, and even in the information I think is new out of this, there are some contradictions, or perhaps oversights, or perhaps information left out, and we don't know which of those is true or accurate. But we have a pretty accurate rundown of what is actually happening, I hope.
Hopefully. First, we'll talk briefly about how housing architecture is going to work in, I guess technically in this expansion, because it's going to be coming before Midnight comes out. But player housing, you will actually have to match the neighborhood you're in with your architecture. Your house can't look like a big orc metal and spikes thing. Yeah. If you're playing in an alliance town, so you're going to have a house that looks like an alliance house.
This is a weird one, because they originally said this when they first talked about player housing. Then we got that interview with Taliesin and Evital where they made it sound like, and this is not on Taliesin and Evital, this is in that interview, where the I forgot who they were interviewing, made it sound like you could mix and match the outdoor decor.
They said that pretty clearly.
Yeah.
I mean, could mix and match exterior looks.
And then we're back to the original, and I'm wondering if the interview was a misspeak, because I think they originally said interior could be whatever, the exterior had to match.
That was Tony Rangiani. I may be saying your name wrong. Very sorry if so. And yes, I have watched the interview, and then I went back and watched it again after this blog post came out, and it really does sound like what he said. What Taliesin asked was, will you be able to see night elf architecture in a horde neighborhood? Or maybe he said it the other way around. And Tony said, yes, you may be able to see these. And it could have been maybe you'll be able to see them with binoculars looking far away in the distance outside your neighborhood. Or maybe he just meant that there will be more architecture styles coming up, which I do think is very likely. We know that there will be only 4 different exterior architectural styles on release. You've got your standard orky stuff, your standard human-y stuff, your night elfy stuff, and your blood elfy stuff. Those are actual scientific, those are the words for them. I can't.
And I'm waiting
This
for my
place is blood elfish.
and I'm waiting for my dwarfy
Formula
stuff.
adjectives.
Dwarfened. This is a dwarfened district. It's been dwarfened. What are you talking about?
It's Dwarfy Town. And we don't have a Dwarfy Town yet. It's like
It's actually
So
just
like-
a holiday. It's those holiday villages around Christmas that you get from the craft store, just dwarf themed.
it's just
That's
constantly
what
October. It's constantly Oktoberfest in Dwarfy Town.
I'd move there.
you get.
So many brats, so little time. No, not brats, brats. It's different. Stop calling my children brats.
Well, yeah. Go ahead.
I really like the earthen architecture we've been seeing in this expansion, but
Yeah.
that will not be an exterior option either. You just have a few to start.
And to a certain degree, I think, and I don't know how you guys feel, and maybe this is just an aside real quick before we get into the rest of this. I don't mind that. Like, the outside, while it is important, is not necessarily the initial focus, it doesn't seem. And I think that's okay. I think that the initial focus is going to be your neighborhood is Order Alliance. You do your thing exterior for now with what you have available to you. You know, those wonderful outside features that Liz loves for pre-ordering the game. We know we covered them. Liz is a huge fan. But your interior can be whatever you want. And I think that's really where the focus is at first. And I'm okay with that because I think giving us the more freedom internally allows us to create a space that's more us. And focusing on making sure that works before giving us too many options on the exterior, I'm okay with it. Actually, it reminds me a lot of City of Heroes. And I think, Matt, I think you played during when they were doing the super bases, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
The exteriors.
I got it. I got it the week it came out.
Yeah, so did I. But I'm saying, like, in them, when they added the super group stuff, the super hideouts and bases, the exteriors were all the same. You just got to choose.
You went to this one area, and there would be one of 3 or 4, was it? Or was it
There's
just 2?
There was one in each city area. For whether you were heroes or villains, you could either get to your secret base that way or whatever. Wherever there was your primary area was your entrance in, and they all look the same exterior. Interior is where everything was different, and you could customize it, put your trophies up, and make your super clubhouse exactly as you wanted it. And I think that's good that they're doing that, and then they can revisit it later because once the inside's working and it's not breaking the game and maybe not causing Yogg Saron to fall through the floor of Ulduar, then we can worry about whether we get our dwarfs or earthen or our various other flavors of Horde and Alliance member architecture, because I think it would be cool to expand it. But for right now, I think I'm okay with that. I don't know about how you guys feel.
I'm not unhappy with it. It's just the changing information flow. It's like, okay, tell me what I'm going to get. I'm going to be excited about it either way. They did say that you will be able to change the exterior look, but it's just going to be in one of these kind of fixed styles, and it'll be a barbershop style interface. At least that was in the interview. So we'll see what it turns out to be. And I know you can put flamingos in your lawn, and you bet I will be seeing how many flamingos I can put in my lawn. Hopefully more than one.
Flaming.
Hopefully.
Oh.
Like if it's 100 flamingos, there's going to be 100 flamingos in my lawn. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but I'm gonna find out.
I'm sorry, I can't hear anyone talk about flamingos without hearing the robot car using the voice of GLaDOS from Portal, but it was in Cyberpunk, and she's talking about flaming O's. It's oxygen. Oxygen will spread the fires of the flamingos, and I'm like, oh my god. Anyway, we should talk about the neighborhood change or rollback or whatever, because we're not sure what happened here. But we were told last time we talked about this, we said there was going to be public, private, and guild. And now we're being told guild is not a type of neighborhood. It is a part of private neighborhood. So there's just going to be public and private.
I have to say that makes sense to just have that split, but previously it was public, private, and guild neighborhoods were going to be a little different. So I don't know if they're not going to be different now, or
Yeah, we don't know if they're not going to
Yeah,
do
well-
the thing where guild neighborhoods can go up to more than 50 homes. We have no idea.
But it makes sense to divide it like this, I think.
Yeah.
It reminds me of when garrisons were in beta and you were able to have random people show up in your garrison by having so I don't know if anybody remembers this during the Warlords beta, but your garrison actually had a gate. It had a singular front gate. And if it was open, random people could come in and look at your garrison and walk around. If it was closed, they couldn't unless you invited them in. And then all that got changed because, and I think
they
that
just turned it to you had to invite people in.
well,
I think
they
you had to even be
you
grouped with
you had to be grouped with them, and so they changed it then. And I think this gives me a lot of that vibes where it's like, okay, we had this really cool idea that we couldn't technically implement back then, but we can now. So let's go ahead and do it. And so the whole public and private neighborhood seems to almost fit into that motif.
I do wonder how the private neighborhood is going to handle, for lack of a better term, the HOA aspect of it. Because guild makes sense to me. You know, you could assign neighborhood rights, responsibilities, whatever, based on your guild rank.
I want crabs.
How are they going to do that?
I want crab. I want bomb crabs riding around on golf carts, keeping my neighborhood safe.
But now that private and guild are the same, it makes me wonder if they're not going to use the guild ranks as a way of determining level of control within your neighborhood. If they're going to have a different system, if there's going to be no control outside of creation and invite, and that's to everybody, I don't know.
We're going to find out soon, I think, because I think everybody's got that same question, but also it may be a technical limitation that they're running up against as well. So with guild, I think there was an expectation that like all of your officers would have like control over certain aspects of it, not just the GM. And maybe that's not the case. Maybe it's a thing where the person who starts it or is in charge of it is going to have they have the party hat, so to speak. And that's just how it is. And it's easier to do that with two separate things versus the other.
Yeah, the big thing that has me concerned, just because it was going to be really cool, was that guild neighborhoods, each neighborhood has roughly 50 plots, as Blizzard describes it. And guild neighborhoods were supposed to scale to the size of your guild. And there's clearly a technical limitation there, because the way they would scale up was that if you filled up one neighborhood, you would have a second instance neighborhood attached to it. So you could have a neighborhood as big as your guild, even though they had to maybe divide it into chunks. So I hope that is still the case, so that the entire guild can have a cool home together. That is just not in Blizzard's official blog post about it.
They're probably still figuring that out, honestly.
But now that we've kind of covered how much we now don't know and do know, and how to at least find a collected area to look at all of it, we should talk at least a little bit about the zone events that are coming in. I keep wanting to call it Twilight in midnight. The one that kind of interests me is the Eversong Woods one, where you basically have a party, which feels very much like if you go back to Shadowlands and those parties that happen there.
Tea
Although
Party
it doesn't
was the
seem
best
to be
party.
the same. Yeah.
With the Vindhyr, yes, that was a fun event.
There's the Abundance event that happens everywhere, but it's kind of a profession-centric public event. And it's basically players have to run around gathering materials from the Loa of Abundance. Not quite sure who the Loa of Abundance is, but regardless, that's one that will be happening in pretty much every midnight zone. The Harandar have their own event, the Legends of the Haranir, happening in Harandar, which is the zone that the Haranir live in, and it kind of feels like it's
confusing. That's not confusing at all.
Yeah, I mean, well, it makes sense because we as humans live here on Humandor. I mean, it's not like if we live on Dirt, the planet. That would be crazy, wouldn't it? If our planet was just named Dirt. That'd just be wild. Anyway, Legends of the Haranir is apparently it's kind of like lore walking, but where you get to find out about the Haranir, which, I mean, I want that a lot, but I don't know if everybody does.
Bite-sized, lore-rich journeys. I don't know.
Pretty
What's
much
a bite-sized lore?
That's for me. That is for me. But I don't know if anyone else is going to be down for it. We're going to get this one, Stormarian Assault, which is, you're attacking the Void Storm. So yeah, I guess they call it the Stormarian. I got you on this one. I don't know, but yeah, it's basically a big assault. So it's like tower defense. I think that's what this article is saying. So it's like kind of tower defensey, kind of survival mode. So elements of Plunder Storm to it to some degree, I think. But yeah, each of these are happening in various zones in Midnight. Go ahead, Liz.
It is interesting that they have kind of a different, unique event in every zone that sort of suits the zone's theme. So that's cool. I do notice there is no soup making event here unless the party includes soup in some way. So I will not have a good use of my supervisor title, which is completely unacceptable. I'm sorry, this is unacceptable. I'm just saying that an expansion needs soup. That's all.
Now I'm just imagining, they could be like, you want to fight, you'll want to fight him with a fork, but you need a spoon for all the rich flavor. They actually have the spoon and fork polearms coming right now. So you could get them now, so you'll be ready. Is this like, chunky evil? I can totally, we can definitely get this with this fork. Also, wow, the word chunky doesn't feel good sometimes. But yeah, that's happening. So that's kind of interesting in terms of stuff going on in zone events. Now, transmog has been stuff we've been hearing a lot about. It's going back and forth, like what's happening, what isn't happening. But now we know that you're going to be able to just put a transmog outfit straight to your action bar. So when you're like, oh, hey, I'm about to go into a 5-man dungeon instead of hanging out here in the soup event that Liz made happen through her supervisor title. You hit the button and now supervisor goes away, and
that's the name of this episode.
Yes, it's super. But yeah, so you've got that. You can make them be part of your action bar. So you could basically replace several dozen of your actions that you don't use or you should use, but you don't. Instead, you're just going to have all your different outfits on the bar, taking up that whole spot.
It's more important to interrupt.
I should clarify that you can set up different situations in which you will automatically swap, like you go into a dungeon, you can have a dungeon outfit. But the piece of new information in this whole thing about transmog that I saw was you can put them on your action bar.
Yeah, because maybe you don't want to have an outfit for dungeoning. You want to have 10. You have one that you default to, but then what if I want to wear my more barbaric looking outfit? That button. Oh no, it's not really working. I want to look like I drink a lot of blood. Yeah, okay, good. Now I've got my blood outfit on. I'm good to go. I'm not being sarcastic when I say that I will probably have several things on my action bar just go away, so I can switch between various things that I want to have for very specific dungeons. Like if I ever find myself in, say, some kind of mythic retread of the Oculus, I am definitely wearing my you can't see my eyes outfit because of the shame, because I don't.
This again reminds me of City Heroes, and I'm going to bring this out again because I think it's really funny that this is a feature coming for transmog. City Heroes let you do this. You were able to have 4 transmogs, 4 costumes set at the time, and the costume system in City Heroes was really, really deep. And it
came out in 2004, guys.
Yeah, and I highly recommend you look up videos of the character creator for City Heroes. But I also think that it's really funny that this is a new feature coming after a certain former City Heroes personality that did work at Blizzard, left Blizzard, and has come back to Blizzard. I'm looking at you, Jeff, or should I say Arbiter Hawk? I see you. Yeah. So
my only question is, will there be a cooldown or a cast time for this? And can I use it in combat? That's all I want to know. These questions are not answered here.
Thing. Yeah. I think they probably won't let you do it while you're in combat because there's a lot of stuff they won't let you do when you're in combat.
I mean, probably not, but I still want to know.
I mean, it's just no ability cooldown. You can macro it to abilities.
Yeah. So you could change your cost. That's a
It's
great
gotta
idea.
it's gotta let you not do it in combat, because then we're gonna have the rogue situation from vanilla all over again. And if you don't remember that was where you could put all of the emotes on a string with Sinister Strike, and if you hit somebody with Sinister Strike, you could crash the server as long as it had all the emotes with it. Like, we're gonna have that situation all over again. No, bad Christian.
One of the things
Thanks
that
for that.
is interesting about the idea of the location based costume is that Guild Wars 2 actually had that originally when the game first came out.
Yeah.
12 years ago now.
Yeah.
And you had a city transmog and your normal transmog, but they got rid of it. I guess people just wanted to keep wearing their outfits in the city because
Well,
it was automatic. You didn't have a choice.
They also got rid of it because
so
of how the monetization was working in Guild Wars 2 with the glamour effects, because your transmog is not free in Guild Wars 2. It does cost you charges of things that you do need to buy with I think it's actually with gems. I was looking at it because I was looking at it because I was playing my my necromancer recently, and I wanted to get her a nice cute outfit. So now she's all butterfly and fairied out. But like, I was looking at it as like, it costs you real money to do that now. And when they did that, I think they got rid of the multiple sets of it to kind of encourage monetary spending. So I don't blame them, but it's just something to note there.
Yeah, sure. I have like 600 of those because I use outfits, and obviously outfits cost money, but they don't require anything but checking off a box to use, so you don't have to worry about paying a cost.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting here imagining how destitute I would be if I played City of Guild Wars 2. I think we should talk about the new player experience.
That's gonna be popular.
Yeah, no, stop. I can't. You can't do this to me, man. New player experience revamp is coming in patch 11.2.7, which is another pre-expansion change. We already talked about this before, but this is news that it's happening pre-expansion. That is pretty cool, I think. Go ahead, Liz.
This is going to be a good one, and one of the things it has is a condensed version of the War Within story, which is basically the War Within in an hour or two as a kind of sort of lore walking-ish experience. I don't know if it'll actually be part of lore walking, but it's like the whole story right here in case you missed it, which I think is great because at this point, it's been a while since we did the beginning of the story. What happened 2 years ago? I don't know.
This is where I scream as I look into the camera, roll the tape, because this is exactly what we asked for like years ago, right? Like,
we used to talk about this.
Yeah, like this exact thing. Like, is there a way that we could catch people up? Maybe using lore walkers to do this exact. I see you. I thank you for taking our idea and running with it. I'll accept payment at any time. It's fine.
I mean, that's the big problem with World of Warcraft. It's impossible to keep up because there's 20 years worth of story. And if you haven't been playing the whole time, you don't know. And even if you have been playing the whole time, 20 years was a lot of years ago.
Yeah.
I'm wondering how much
to some of us, it's a lot of years ago. To some of us, it's less years.
I wonder how much they're going to change outside of that, though. Like, those who tried to get to Shadowlands mounts during the event with the higher rate knows the Shadowlands introductions are all over the place with unlocks and skips. And I wonder if as part of this, they're going to go back and fix that so that the next time we can have a better chance at the GLers mount, players will be able to go straight there without having to jump through the hoops of trying to figure out what their character can or can't do in Shadowlands or BFA or any of the other expansions that aren't getting this specific treatment.
I don't think they will, because I don't think they want to go back to Shadowlands anytime soon, just in terms of... This is not me saying they shouldn't. This is me saying that it doesn't feel like Shadowlands is getting... Quite frankly, I don't think it gets half the respect it deserves as an expansion. But I definitely don't think they're going to be going back to fix that. They made that very difficult accidentally, and then they just kind of left it that way. And I think at this point we're 2 expansions down the road, 3 expansions down the road. But yeah, by the time Midnight comes out, we will be 3 expansions down the road. I don't think they're going to do it. But that's just me being cynical. I didn't think they were going to do player housing, and look at where we are now. So, but we also know there's some UI improvements coming in, some of which had already been spoken about. But the one I want to talk about is the one that you've got written down here. So it's good that you have it written down here, because they're going to change the resource bar for instance, the rage bar or whatever, the personal resource bar, it's becoming a HUD element instead of being considered a nameplate thing. And the reason that that's good is because nameplates are already out of control on a lot of screens if you play World of Warcraft, especially if you raid in World of Warcraft, especially if you raid in certain roles in World of Warcraft. You can have nameplates everywhere. It's like, do I even see the monster, or is at this point, is it just nameplates? Am I literally just playing whack-a-mole with nameplates? What's happening? So I think that's pretty good. That's a good change because it will make it... it's also going to be customizable in edit mode, which is like, yes. But there's more... go ahead, Liz.
Customizing kind of your resources and how that displays is one of the big reasons I use an add-on, because I like to see certain things. I like to see only the things that are important to me, and not have the information overload of, here is every buff on your character. I don't care. That's a lot of visual noise. So I hope they'll have options that'll make it easier to I just want to see the stuff that matters, and just make it really clear what's going on and telegraph the important stuff.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. Even just for tanking, even it would be helpful, especially since you really do want to be able to see your personal resource bar. If that's something that you want to keep. At least I did when I was tanking. So yeah, I think that's great. We still don't know how much we're going to be paying for housing or transmog. No idea. Sorry, they have not said. There's no post. We don't know.
We know they cost something, and they have repeatedly used the language that they will cost something. We just they haven't given that information up yet. They may not know. It's a mystery.
They may be like going, my God, it's been 3 weeks since we told them they were going to be paying for it, and they haven't stopped complaining. What do we do? I'm just hoping that that's what's happening at this point. Okay, this one I feel weird calling this a capybara. I mean, facially, it's very capybara-esque, but I don't think of capybara when I see huge horns with flames on the end of them, or whatever that is.
It's a capybara with horns, so it's a weird blizzard capybara.
I think it's called the fell.
Like in Australia.
The fell snooter pet.
It's the red scruffy horn fell snooter pet in World of Warcraft is what this thing is called. And I personally take umbrage with the fact that it is red. It is red and orange, like it is on fire.
Instead of green for fell,
no green. Yes, yeah. This is misnamed. It should be a scruffy horn cinder snooter, but it is not.
Or flame snooter.
My problem with it is quite simple. Capybaras are the super chillest of all rodents. They are big. They are friendly to many things. They like to sleep on things and have things sleep on them. Nobody is sleeping on this thing because it's got spikes everywhere.
If that's your problem with this and not how you get it, then we have to have a talk.
Oh, I'm not going to get it because I'm not doing the.
Let's rip the Band-Aid off of this and talk. So if you want to get this adorable little capybara friend, you can. If you spend $75 in the gear store. Now, I don't know about you. I wouldn't have a problem with this if it wasn't $80 for a hoodie. So if you want to...
So really, you just need to buy a hoodie.
But
and then you're done.
The sheer price, though, of gear, Blizzard branded gear, has gone up so much over the last several years. And I'm not blaming, we can blame tariffs and stuff like that, but I remember when branded t-shirts were $25 and that was expensive, right? And I still have my original Blizzard gear shaman shirt. I can't wear it anymore because I have definitely ballooned in size because I'm old and fat. But I remember that being $20. And now we're looking at long sleeves shirts being very expensive. You want a button down. Well, you're paying $100. I understand that you want to cross merchandise, and this feels like they're trying to encourage people to spend money on merch, which is great. But maybe people are buying merch because it's already too expensive to begin with.
I
will say this.
Sorry, yeah, go ahead, Christian.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I looked through the clearance stuff because I actually used to buy my son plays Overwatch. Overwatch 2. And so I used to try to get him clearance Overwatch stuff for Christmas. And you used to be able to get some really good deals. On clearance, $5 shirts and everything. But even now, the clearance stuff is $30. And it's no, I mean, I wouldn't pay that if it was full price for this item. And now your clearance price is 30. I tried to find $75 stuff I would actually be willing to spend in the gear store.
That's the
I could not do it.
problem. That's the problem. Like
I found one Funko Pop. The Zal Funko's coming out, but I got it cheaper elsewhere. Although it was only $15. I'm not paying shipping to Blizzard for a $15 Funko.
Yeah,
but yeah, I couldn't find anything I wanted, even in the clearance section.
And I'm in the same boat. Like the Funko Pops, I'm like, oh, those are really neat. But why? I have a store. I literally have a comic store. I have a distribution for Funkos. Why would I give them money for it? And it's the only thing that I saw that was like, oh, this would be fine. Plus, you are on the other problem of sizing too, right? Because and this is a me complaint. And I'm sorry, I'm ranty this episode. Y'all get to deal with it a little bit. But the other problem that I have as a larger nerd is that nerd gear isn't always sized for the people who actually want to wear it. And so like a 3X from them may actually be a 2X because it was produced maybe overseas, or smaller or not cut right. And I've heard that they've been better on sizing lately, but then I have to worry about, do they have my size? Like I saw a couple things that I actually would have considered buying, like that I would have brought to work with me. Like they had a nice button down and I was like, oh, here's a button down and a work jacket combo for $100. Okay. That's a little bit expensive, but it looks like it's really nice and classy, and I could wear it to the office and do my nerdy. They don't have my size. Like it's just gone, right? And I understand that that's a problem for me, but it's like, okay, the one thing that I found that I was considering is just like not there. I don't know, and then I have to worry about getting it, and then I'm always weird about ordering stuff online, regardless, and then I have to worry that the sizing is right or that it's going to fit me and not be, I have to send it back or worse. Yeah, I don't know. It's just let me buy the dang Pat. Just let me give you money in exchange for this digital good. I will do that. That I'd be willing to do. I don't know. Sorry, I've ranted a lot. I'm going to shush now.
Well, I'm just going to say this up front. I was looking at this going, wow. They now have Alliance and Horde hoodies and so forth that look like they're from a generic grocery store because it just says
right
or Alliance
or the signet ring that's just a red square.
I haven't even seen the signet ring. I got caught up in all these hoodies that are just Horde or just Alliance. And it's just like it looks like it should just say corn or beets.
I'd be willing to buy the corn one.
So would I, but that's if I'm going to do that, I'm going to buy it from Dimension 20 store. Let's be honest.
But then there's also the fact that you've got stuff on here like the.
I think Liz was trying to say something though, so I want to hear what Liz was saying.
Well, I've lost the thread. Continue.
Well, it's like the Warglaze of Azeroth statue thing. Have you looked at this?
Oh, those not a statue. Those are replicas. Those are actual things you can hold.
Yeah, but the thing that they come on is like arms sticking out of the earth to set the Warglaves in so you can display it.
That I'm a little more forgiving of because that's a weapon replica. Okay, $200 for that is fine. But I don't need it.
What gets me,
but I don't need
the price isn't what gets me. It's like if you buy that, you immediately get the felt snooter because you've spent more than $75. So I don't know how to put this. Sane people would be like, yeah, but I'm not going to buy that thing, Matt. It's $200. I have a real problem with if that were Ash Kandi, I'd already have it. I'm afraid they're going to make an Ash Kandi and do that.
You're not alone. If they ever made a replica of Volunteer, 1,000% it would have been an instant purchase for me. Give me the Mace of Kings, please. But I'm with you.
So I should note that these replicas are 8.5 inches long.
Yeah, they're not full size.
Well, instantly out.
Yeah, they're. I mean, they aren't even like toy size. They're actually very small.
I think because I was gonna say wasn't the Frostmourne, wasn't that like $1,500 or something like that? I forgot. It was really
full size one. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yes.
I don't know anybody who actually bought it. I know people who got it because they worked there or because
I know several people that bought it.
I don't. None of my friends were going to buy that thing, but they would definitely get it in other ways.
So you know how they bought it? In this again, I don't want to harp on this, so we should probably move on. But I'm just going to say this: my friends who bought it didn't buy it from Blizzard; they bought it from the company that made it directly and saved literally 50%.
Yeah, it makes sense. But we should talk about Legion Remix because we've talked about that before. And last time we talked about it, which I believe was last week, we talked about the fact that a lot of people were saying on the PTR that it didn't feel good the way that Remists did. The Mist of Pandaria Remix had really fast leveling, and everybody could like blaze to max level and start working on doing all the content solo and have a lot of fun with it. And that wasn't what was happening with Legion Remix, which means they've now changed it. So instead of it being like 100% XP for running the heroic world tier, it's now 500% XP. And they've increased player power. There's other XP boosts that they've put in. I'm not really sure how the Warband XP gains are going to work into on this as well. Like,
you'll get them at certain levels. So it'll just boost your... Once you've leveled a character, as you go, you'll gain Warband boosts to experience.
So the next
your
character...
second character,
yeah,
third character will be going faster.
I do think it's kind of funny that whoever wrote this, pointed out that they're going to have the names for this kind of thing. Like, instead of just calling it an XP boost or whatever, it's going to be like the memento of epic curiosity. That's like, oh, okay. I see where we're going with this. You're making puns. You're doing puns, guys. I get it.
That's just the power drops. Like Rob was talking about this when he was talking about Remix and he was on. That all of the things have odd names, so you get them and you don't exactly know what they are. That's still the case. So it's not even all of the buff items you pick up are named like this. And it's not epic. It's epoch. Memento of epoch curiosity, which grammatically I have issues with. I don't think this is well phrased, but also it's just confusing.
Pronunciation wise, that's weird because up here that is pronounced epoch, not epoch. Yeah, that's here. I don't know how you pronounce it.
Well, I also heard you saying epic. Like,
no, I'm saying
EPIC.
I'm trying to say epoch, but I probably swallowed it.
We may both be saying it wrong, or we may have different regional pronunciations.
It's like the niche thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I'm positive that they did it as a pun, but I get you. It is really bizarre. It feels like somebody was playing Exalted and then they just decided to name stuff in WoW like that.
Because like an epoch is like, it means a period of time.
Yeah, so obviously it's a joke based on the fact that you're curious about the flow of time, and by getting it faster, XP, yeah, blah blah blah. I got you.
But it's not just curiosity. It's curiosity or happiness, or it's just all sorts of. They just slapped a random word generator on the end of that, and it gives you stats of some kind, and it's a little confusing, but there it is. That's what you got.
They should have just kept it the way they did with Remists, where it was just one thing, wasn't it?
It was, you would get threads for your cloak, but each thread was named like thread of agility, thread of thread of stamina, kind of things like that. And now it just has. They're weird. It's weird. It's different, so therefore it is weird. You know how it is. So
now we talk about WoW Classic, because we just talked about Remists, and now it's Mist of Pandaria Classic. Landfall is happening on September 23rd, so as we record this, it's a couple weeks down the road. We're also going to get I think this says that the Terrace of Endless Spring raid unlocked on September 4th, which was last week, right?
So Terrace of Endless Spring is live right now.
Yeah, and we're going to get...
Carry on.
No, I was asking you, what are we going to get next? That was
next. Okay. Next, we're getting Celestial Dungeons will offer Terrace of the Endless Spring Celestial rewards for players, which just means that's kind of their sort of hard mode raids, hard mode dungeons, mythic dungeons. That's the version you find in Classic. So they're a little harder, but they'll be giving you these raid rewards. So if you can't get into a raid, if you don't have time to commit to a raid group, even though Terrace is a bad example because that's a really short raid, you can still get these rewards doing small group content. So yes, that will unlock on September 16th.
Do we know when we're going to get Heart of Fear?
I do not.
All right. Well, that's, unless anyone has something particular they want to say about Mist of Pandaria Classic.
I do. I have one question. Is anyone else playing Mist of Pandaria Classic?
Nope.
No.
Yeah, I was trying, but I haven't been able to keep up. I have a Pandarin monk that I was trying to level up to Pandaria levels, and like 81. I hit level 81, and then the latest WoW patch and raid tier hit, and it's like I can't keep up with both of these things at the same time. So I guess mists. Farewell, mists.
Yeah, that is the problem with all this stuff is you kind of have to pick
Yeah.
one you're going to do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I leveled the Pandaren and starter zone just to get the mount in the main game.
Right.
I had no intention of doing anything more than that. Plus, we just had Remus.
Yeah.
Not long ago, we were doing this content. It's kind of odd. I
it does feel a little
I
weird.
get the classic because it's progression, but it's kind of like it's hard to say. If you really enjoy Remus, you should try Miss Classic. And they haven't really done that kind of advertising.
Well, if you enjoyed Remist, you should play the much slower version.
Yeah, that's all. Was Remus too fast for you? Well, we have a solution.
But you should talk about Diablo 3 is now on its season 35, which is the first time that they've actually rerun something that they rerun already. Lords of Hell season, it's going to be on September 12th, so this week as we're recording. And yeah, it's back again. It's literally in there, back again. Lords of Hell. So yeah, it's just something they've done before. Again, that's what's going to be from now on, guys. So if you're surprised,
I mean, we knew it was going to be reruns, but we saw it in season 25, and then we saw it in season 30, and now we're seeing it in season 36. So it's surprising that they're recycling themes on this fast of a schedule. It hasn't been in maintenance mode for that long, but we're already doing these reruns. So Diablo 3 seasons are still pretty fun, but it's a tiny bit disappointing.
And meanwhile, Diablo 4's got its they're going to have a new season starting on. Well, we know it ends on the 23rd. I don't know if we know.
No, it
doesn't it usually start on the same day.
It ends and begins on September 23rd. Season 9 will be starting later this month. So,
season 10, you mean? Because the season ends. Season 9's ending.
No, do I have this down wrong? I'm
reading this. Can't. This is what it says.
I know you're reading this.
Okay, well.
Okay, yes, we're in season 9 and season 10 is going to start.
All right, cool.
I have not. Diablo 4 is another one of those things I just can't keep up with this and do everything else.
Yeah, for me, Diablo 4 is something I pick up on like weekends.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I'm, so I don't finish the seasons anymore. Like I just don't play enough to finish them. I come in, I get my character, like, up to max level so I can get my Paragon on. And then I just kind of play on weekends when I've got an hour or two to kill, or if I'm really angry at something and I can't go yell at the person involved because it's not legal or whatever. So I just go and kill demons for a couple hours and like okay, I feel better now. But I can't do the thing where I play any game for like hours a day, every day of the week. It's no, and especially not. Oh yeah, I'm playing Diablo, but I'm also like raiding and WoW, and I'm also. It's like no, I cannot do this.
It's too much.
But at this point, I think Joe, I believe you are the one who wrote this down.
Yeah.
We need to talk about Silksong.
Well,
can we have Liz do her thing first before, and then you come in on this? Do you mind?
However you want to do, go ahead.
So Liz, if you'd mind doing site news.
I just want to remind all of you listening at home that Blizzard Watch is made possible by listeners like you. You keep us going. You help us thrive and grow. At least we're trying to thrive. Everyone's just doing their best in this crazy old world. I want to thank new supporter Moonfrey, who pledged $3 a month. That helps so much. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but it's all of you guys giving a little bit a month that keeps us afloat, keeps us going. For $3 a month, you get early access to all of these podcasts ad-free. So if you love the podcast, that's a great place to pledge because you can get them a little bit early, except when I forget to post them. That doesn't happen often, though. I usually remember to post them. And I also want to thank Tony, who pledged it $10 a month. Thank you so much. In addition to podcasts, that gets you an ads-free site experience and access to a special secret super supporter section of our Discord channel. Thank you so much. You are what keeps the site going. And we are running a little lower than we like on Patreon right now at almost $3,600, which thank you everyone for getting us up to this level. We do like to keep it around 4,000, so we're a little lower than we'd like to be. If you are able to support us financially, please do. I understand if you can't. I get it. It's life. I know, you know. So if you can't, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for reading the site. That really helps. And if you enjoy our content, please like, share, leave a review on your podcast platform of choice, comment. All of that really helps. And if you want to keep up, we are Blizzard Watch on Instagram, Threads, Twitter, Facebook, and Mastodon at gamepad.club. We are blizzardwatch.com on Blue Sky and Blizzard Watch Podcasts on YouTube. I say this every week, and just this afternoon, someone was really surprised in the queue that we are on Blue Sky. So we are on Blue Sky, blizzardwatch.com. So if you can, Patreon, it keeps us going. We are patreon.com/blizzardwatch. Thank you so much for listening, and I appreciate your support.
Thank you, Liz. And now, Joe, as I throw this to you so you can talk about Hollow Knight Silksong, can you give people a quick preface on what it is for people who don't know?
Yeah, so if you are familiar with the concept of a Metroidvania, you may have heard of Hollow Knight, which was a breakout success and just a standout game from Team Cherry. Which was all of your wonderful Metroidvania classics with a little bit of Souls-like difficulty thrown in, recovering your corpse and stuff like that, which we've seen in other Metroidvanias, all themed around bugs. You are bugs. That is the short version of it. Silksong is a game that has been in development as a sequel to this for 5 years, I think 6 years. Finally released. It is across all platforms. It is available on the Switch to your PlayStation, your Xbox, and also on Game Pass and PC. So if you have Game Pass, you can try it out for free. It is one of the most anticipated games of all time, and it was joked that it was going to be vaporware or get the Duke Nukem Forever treatment because when it was announced, nothing else was heard of it except for this. Now, why am I talking about it here? Two things. One, this game is so important and so looked for as far as anticipation that other games have actually had to move or have chosen to move their own release dates or even their demo dates to not interfere with Silksong or be overshadowed by Silksong. Some of which, if you like Bennett Foddy's Getting Over It, the next game from that developer, they announced it by showing a picture of the it's called Baby Steps, with the character walking up a statue of Hornet, the main character from Silksong. But it did release. It's very, very, if you like that type of thing, it's very good. Highly recommended if you like Metroidvanias. I thought it was interesting because one of the things that is happening is we're already getting a patch for it. So players started commenting that the early game was a little too difficult. Both in terms of economy and just the difficulty scale of the enemies. You start with a relatively low health bar like you would expect from any Metroid or Castlevania style game. And some enemies early on can hit you for 2 of your meager 5 health bars right away. So Team Cherry is actually looking at it and is making some adjustments where they're going to not necessarily lower the difficulty a lot, but make sure that it is much more in line with it being a initial zone. And they're also looking at the economy to make sure that transitioning from early game to mid game is a lot, not a lot easier, but is easier for players to make it a little more inviting and a little less off-putting. So I'm actually really excited to see that. And I wanted to put this in here because it's not only is it worth mentioning that the game came out, but it's worth mentioning that they're taking player feedback and reacting to it relatively quickly, and that's commendable. That's all I really wanted to say about it. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, my son has been playing it almost nonstop since it came out. He's really enjoying it. He's still not sure whether he likes it better than Hollow Knight, but his playtime seems to suggest that he does.
Yeah, you could definitely tell as a second game from a developer, they learned a lot of lessons from the first game. The animations are smoother. It looks like it has a lot more of the personality that made the first game so charming. Like there's so many cool little hidden things. Like, it is a treasure trove of experience, and I've barely scratched the surface. I know members of Liz and my guild are like speed running through this game, and I'm just like, that's cool. I'm still trying to just chilling out and hitting every wall to see if it explodes into a secret area. So, like, yeah.
You mentioned the games that delayed because of the announcement. Counterexample, Atari released Adventure of Samsara, which is vaguely tied into the old classic adventure game
Mm-hmm.
For the 2600, and it's sitting with a whopping 16 reviews so far.
Yeah,
Because
everybody's playing.
well, I mean, to be fair, Atari has not been advertised. Like Yar Rising, which I played and enjoyed, got a lot more advertisement and push from Atari, so it did better. But yeah, they did not move this game, and it's just
Yeah.
it may be better than Silksong, but there's no way to know because almost no one's playing it.
Yeah, and sometimes you have to be nimble with it. And I think in some of these, it's easier to do than others. Like Little Witch in the Woods looks like a really cozy, like Zelda-esque game where you play as a little witch, and it was supposed to release on September 4th. They decided to push it to September 15th because of the release for Silksong. There's even a picture of the little witch crying over a broken broom, with the shadow of the main character Hornet overshadowing her. Baby Steps, Clover Pit, Demon School. These were all games that like pushed Eternal Lucas or Lucius, Megabonk. These all pushed their dates back to sort of not necessarily deal with, but let it be its own thing and not interfere with Silksong or have Silksong interfere with it. So
Yeah, any games are very reliant upon initial sales upon release.
oh yeah.
So because I've saw a lot of commentary on Reddit and whatever, like, oh well, why are people moving their games? I mean, didn't Animal Crossing and Doom come out on the same day and get a bunch of memes?
Mhm.
But those were AAA games.
Look, are we going to try to make
those-
the character from Silksong is now also dating Doom Guy and Isabel? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You can only do that so many
Yeah.
times.
Yeah, the AAA can get away with shared release dates, especially of different genres, because they'll have legs. But for every indie game that comes out, if it doesn't, it's very rare for indie games to break in. Like
Mhm.
just get people to actually know they even exist. And when you have a game like Silksong that had 500,000 concurrent users,
5.2 million wish list requests on Steam.
yeah. And the 500,000 is amazing because my son couldn't buy it for like hours.
Yeah.
It crashed PayPal.
It crashed Steam, it crashed PayPal, it crashed the PlayStation Network purchasing, it crashed in the Nintendo eShop. Like it was
Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
Joe, you had asked how long it was in development.
Yeah.
It was announced on February 14th of 2019.
Yep, so 6 years.
Yeah. And the thing is that it got pushed back at least 3 times in 2025.
And rightfully so.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's bad that they did it. I'm just saying it's harder for smaller game companies to not counter program. So it's harder for them to get out of the way when you keep moving your release date. So that's another thing to keep in mind for companies that maybe didn't and should have, is if you've moved your release date twice and they've moved theirs twice, like at this point, we got to release this game.
I don't think Silksong ever actually had an actual real release date until they
No.
announced this.
No,
this
like
week.
they announced it at Gamescom that it was coming and that it was actually done and ready. They didn't announce a release date for it. And then the week prior to it releasing, that's when they said, yeah, by the way, it's coming out here. Like that, which honestly, kudos to them. That's the way to treat the hype engine.
Yeah. I mean, people were, my son, so this is all secondhand. Yeah, he was a big Hollow Knight fan. And what he said was, what was frustrating was Team Cherry wasn't saying anything.
Yeah, radio silence.
Yeah, so every single time, whether it was a Tokyo Game Show, whether it was Summer Game Fest, Video Game World, for the last 3 years, because the demo, I think, or 2 years, because the first demo came out 2 or 3 years ago, radio silence, and it got frustrating, but apparently it didn't frustrate enough people to skip it, although the price of only $20 probably helped that as well.
Yeah, that too. Like the fact that if you're buying this for like just outright, not even just playing it on like Game Pass, which again, it is on Game Pass, $20 USD for a game of this like content and quality already is insane in today's asking our marketplace for video games. We were just talking a few weeks ago about the price of the expansions for World of Warcraft and how much Midnight it costs. And like, yes, it's a different animal, but it's just like, it's such a stark, like you're paying $70 for or $80 for a current generation premium game, and here's one for 20. Like but again, they're going to make that up. I mean, again, 5.2 million people wish listing it is not an insignificant number.
Okay, but I'm going to actually say now, both of you guys play Guild Wars 2 at least a little.
Yep.
Talk to us about homesteads and the new expansion.
Go for it, Cal.
Okay, and actually, to bring up, the new expansion for Guild Wars 2 is coming out next month, and I think the base for that is only $25 or $30. So not every expansion is kind of the
Yeah,
midnight value.
$30
Although-
$29.99, I think, USD.
Yeah, but if you want to add stuff like digital, there are digital editions and editions that come with gems at a discounted rate, so you can get that. But the homestead, with all the talk about the housing in World of Warcraft, it's interesting to compare how Guild Wars 2 has handled it. For those who don't know, Guild Wars 2's homesteads, their version of player housing is basically an instant space, and it's just you. There's no neighborhoods. So it's just you. Everyone gets the same style of house.
And it's not just a house, though.
Oh no, it's not just a house. It allows you to, but it inhabits a physical space, starting with the house. There's land around it. All your nodes, you have nodes for like farming nodes, gathering, mining, and so forth. But it's customizable in ways that, of course, the players immediately jump on, because the Guild Wars 2 community is a little insane when it comes to stuff like jumping puzzles.
A little?
Yeah. Totally sarcastic there. I actually know someone who's building a blueprints simulator in their homestead.
Whoa.
Yeah. It can't do the randomization, but it's going to be set up like that. But with the new expansion, we're getting a new location, and I had a chance to look at it early. It's an island paradise.
Camosis Isle, right?
Castora. I'm not sure if the name of the actual island itself is, but
Yeah.
it's an island paradise.
It's in Castora, but I think it's Camosis Isle.
Okay, thank you. And but it has a mountain. It has a cavern with a pool of water that has a secret exit out to the sea, so you can build your Bond villain style lair if you want. If that's how you want to do it. They're also so that's cool, and you have a choice. You can only have one instance at a time, but so you have to choose either the current homestead, which is more like a traditional homestead, or your island villain lair or island paradise, however you plan to build it. But they've added layouts so you can save it, so you can easily switch back and forth. And you don't have to build from scratch. You say, "Oh yeah, I love how this looks, but I'm gonna go my island paradise for a while. Let me save how that layout is." But then they added, you have XML editing of your files. You can now share your layouts. So if you go to someone's blueprints simulated homestead, you can actually build it yourself. If you don't have everything they have, because materials cost resources, the game will now tell you what you're missing so that you can build it and add it yourself, which is tremendous. They're also converting, right now you can't really mess around with the house itself. You like one of the tricks they did was they turn over like the hearth upside down so that you can make a stone floor.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're making that all construction materials, so you can tear down everything that's there that's your house, and then build it however you want. If you want to put a stone castle in your island paradise, you can do that, and it's going to do more. It's going to be amazing customization is going to come out of it. I'm really looking forward to see what the players come up with.
Me too. And
I'm not going to do anything.
Oh no! This is going to ruin me. This itself is going to ruin me. We were talking about this. Like I mentioned that I went to school for architecture, and like player housing and WoW is going to ruin me. Like you're going to have to pull me from dealing with my player housing to get me to do anything. This is up there as well. It's going to be bad. And the one thing I will say about their homesteads too that we didn't even mention is, regardless of whether you're in Hearthglow or Cosmosis Isle, they're not disconnected from the world. Yes, these occupy physical spaces. But portals link everything across the world of Guild Wars. And in your homestead, you actually have portals to 3 of the major meeting areas. which is really nice. You're never disconnected from the world itself. I tossed a picture of the island into our podcast chat here, and it is like there's a very distinct art style with Guild Wars. There's a very painterly style, and everything from the interface to the talking heads with quests to the world design is very, very much in that vein. And your homestead is not any different. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great feature. I was being a little joking when I said I was going to do anything with it, but yeah, but like in the picture you said, they have that boat that's standing on its end. You have this crashed ship that you're using as your actual house.
Yup.
Unlike World of Warcraft, where the inside is whatever is different from the outside. It's all inside and outside integrated, but you can tear that boat down if you want.
Yeah.
Use the material to build something else.
All I know is
You can build another boat.
I cannot wait to have my necromancer with her flesh golem, her bone golems, her bone scorpions, chilling on an island, feet in the sand, drinking a margarita, because that's exactly what's going to happen here.
That's what it's for.
It's gonna be like that guy in Veilguard who had his little skeleton falling around everywhere. Manfred, I think his name is.
Manfred.
Yeah. But Liz, you were saying something, I think.
No.
Okay. I am sorry.
You want to mention something else about Guild Wars 2 if we're talking about homesteads, and if we have time. They actually now Guild Wars 2 is finally adding a group finder feature.
Yeah, I saw that, which is really, really rad.
Yeah,
Long time coming.
They're starting with fractals. Fractals, for those who don't play Guild Wars 2, they're kind of like a mix between scenarios and dungeons. They're 5-man. Guild Wars 2 does not have a typical tank healer DPS style.
Yeah, party structure is a little more freeform.
Yeah. But it's still 5 players, and it is like you have like little mini goals, and it can be as long as a dungeon because Guild Wars 2 only has some old school dungeons that no one even goes to anymore. They haven't added a new dungeon since the original, as far as I can remember. And so but fractals are basically the first group content above leveling and solo world activities. So this is kind of it's a dual purpose. They're doing a beta test for the next 4 weeks of the group finder for fractals to give players who haven't done fractals before, to get the group up for them, a chance to try them out. So hopefully it'll encourage more, because fractals are fun. I've done fractals. I've never done the more advanced ones. They get difficult. But fractals themselves has always been kind of an odd mechanic. Like the same fractal is a tier 5, but also a tier 33. What does that mean? What is agony? So it's a good way of getting players introduced to fractals. But even if that doesn't have a lasting effect, the group finder will be able to use for the raids, the strikes, all the more recent group content convergences that they've put in that it's harder to get groups together for. So it'll be interesting to see how the experiment works. Saw screenshots today of a whole bunch of people outside the fractal area looking for groups. So hopefully it'll get players involved, because it's an additional thing to do in the game. It's not transmog, which of course is the end game for all MMOs, but there are some transmog. They put in a ton of rewards for it, like legendary gloves. I might have to find a way to play it, because I don't know when I'm going to, but the rewards, but they just really want players to test this out. So it should be a good experiment. Hopefully it works out.
Cool. If you play Guild Wars 2, look forward to having your own group finder. At that point, though, I think we're going to pretty much be done for the day, because we are past time. Thank you for Cal. Sorry, I should say your name at least. Christian, for being here with us this week.
Well, thanks for having me. I know it was a short notice, but I saw no one else have stepped in, so I thought I'd give it a try. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
And thank you to Liz and Joe for, of course, making the podcast even happen. And thank you to all of you for making it be something besides us just talking, because we can do that without recording it and sending it. Yeah. So thank you to everybody. This has been the Blizzard Watch podcast, and we'll be back next week.